artist! I'm going to show you our project for this week, which is a paper animal. And this one happens to be a cat. I haven't drawn the face yet, but I will in the video. So for this project, you're going to need one piece of paper. You might want a second piece of paper for some extra details, but I made this all out of one piece of paper. The thicker the paper you have, the better, because then your animal will be able to stand up on a flat surface, but you could still use paper that you would have in your printer. So like a thinner weight paper will also work, but if you do have anything that's a little bit thicker around your house, this would be great to use for your paper animal. All right, let's get started. So in the video, you're going to see me make a cat and a dog, but you don't have to make only a cat or a dog. You can come up with any four-legged animal that you'd like to create. To make your paper animal, you'll need at least one piece of paper. You can use white paper. Remember, the thicker the weight, the better, or a piece of colored paper could work well too. You'll need a pencil, an eraser, a black marker, scissors, a glue stick, and then you'll need something to add color with. So first we're going to make our animal's body. You're going to take your piece of paper and fold it in half, hamburger style. I'm matching up the corners and then I'm making a crease by pressing down on the fold. Make sure you press down on your fold a couple times so you make a really nice crease. Then you're going to draw on one side of the paper. The bottom is where the paper opens and the top is where the fold is. Make sure your paper is going in that direction. We're going to draw a tall rainbow line. So I was doing that with my finger, and now I'm drawing it with my pencil. So it's good to practice the drawing with your finger first. So make a tall rainbow line. Remember that it should start where the paper opens, not on the folded side. And then I'm going to cut on that line. And when I'm doing this, I'm making sure that my paper is still folded. So I'm actually cutting through two pieces of paper while I'm doing this. Now that I'm done cutting, I have these two tall half circle shapes. I'm going to save those for later. So you can see now when I open my paper up that I have two tall rainbow lines cut out. But I'm going to keep my paper folded and we're going to work on drawing the animal's feet next. When we look at an animal, all of its edges are round. So the paws are round, the legs have rounded edges, the back is round. So to make round paws, I'm going to draw a small letter C in the left corners of the leg shapes. So look at the corners that I drew the C on. And then I'm going to draw two diagonal lines at the top of those C's, so one on each side, going up to the edge of the paper. Now I'm going to cut on the lines I drew and make the paw shape. And I'm keeping my paper folded, so I'm actually cutting through two pieces of paper here. So I did one side and now I'm going to do the other side. How many legs will I end up with when I'm done cutting? If you said 4, then you're right. Now remember that animals have curved edges, so I still have some pointy edges. Notice that my dog has curved edges on the back of his paws. So I'm going to draw a curved line on the corners of my paper, and then I can cut on those lines to make my animal look a little more realistic. When you're cutting, it's important to cut slowly and carefully. You can always cut off more if you need to, but you can't put more paper back on. So cut carefully. The top left corner where I'm pointing to, you don't really need to cut into a curve because we're going to put a head shape on top there. But I am going to cut the legs in a little bit more because I want them to be a little bit thinner. This is going to be a cat, and I know cats usually have thin legs. But if you were making an animal like a bear, then you would probably want thicker legs. So it depends on your animal if you need to do this or not. Now we need those 2 half circle shapes that I saved earlier. So I'm going to use one to make a head shape out of, and the other one we'll use for some details. The first thing you'll want to do is cut the corners off. So you're going to make the head shape into kind of like a circle. So I am just cutting the corners and making them into a curve. And you can change it a little bit and make it a little smaller if you need to, or keep it the size that it is. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and glue the head shape to the animal's body in the top left corner there. So you're gonna put a little bit of glue on the bottom part of the head shape. So you don't need to put it all over because part of it will hang off. And then I'm going to press it onto the body shape. And you can turn it a little bit if you want the head at an angle. That's up to you, and I'm really pressing it on here and allowing the glue to stick. Now I'm going to make the ear shapes for my animal, which is a cat. And cats have triangle-shaped ears, and they have 2 ears, but I'm only drawing 1 triangle to start. And this is on my other piece of paper, my other half circle. So I drew a triangle shape and I'm cutting it out. And then with that cut out shape, I'm going to make a second one. So I'm going to use it as a tracer, place it on my piece of paper, and trace the edges so that I can get a second ear shape and make it the same exact size. This is one way to make a matching shape. So then I can put the ears on where they'll go, and I'm going to go ahead and glue them on. Now the last thing that my cat needs is a tail, and I still have a lot of paper space left on this half circle shape. So I'm going to use the curve of the half circle to draw a tail, but I'm going to turn it into a spiral. I know my cat likes to put her tail in a spiral shape, so I'm going to make this one look like that. And when you're cutting out a spiral, if you choose to do this, you really need to cut carefully and slowly. Now I'm going to speed up my video a little bit here, but remember, I don't really cut this fast. Now that my tail shape is cut out, I'm putting it in the place that I will glue it, and I'm adding a little bit of glue on the edge, and then I'm putting it between the fold of the paper at the top. And I'm going to press it down, make sure that the tail is in the right place and that it's stuck to the paper. Now that the shape of our cat is done, we're going to draw a face. So I am drawing 2 slightly curved lines for the cat's eyes. You can leave them like that to have a cat that is sleeping, Or you can draw an opposite curve underneath to make an open eye shape. And then I'm drawing an upside down triangle for the nose and 2 smile lines that come out to the side for the mouth. Then we can add some whiskers that come out to the sides. And I'm going to add a collar to my cat, so I'm drawing a curved line under the face shape and then one more curved line under that. And then I drew a heart for the name tag shape, and I named my cat Smokey after one of the cats I had when I was a kid. I also am adding some whiskers in his ears because he had a lot of hair sticking out of his ears. Then I'm adding some curved lines on the paws. After you're done drawing in pencil, you can outline everything with a black marker. Once I finished outlining, I erased all the pencil lines with an eraser, and I'm drawing stripes on my cat with a black marker. Your cat could look totally different, or you could be doing a different animal, so the patterns and the designs that you put on your animal are up to you and unique based on what your animal is. But you should be drawing some designs and textures on your animal to make it look more realistic. Now I'm going to make a dog. I'm going to use the same steps I used to make the cat's body, so you're going to see some steps repeated here. You can use this body shape to make any 4-legged animal that you want. So it could be a dog, it could be a cat, it could be a bear, it could be a tiger. What other 4-legged animals can you think of? Now I'm going to show you how to make the details for a dog. So using the other piece of paper that I have left over, the other half circle, I'm drawing an oval shape for the dog's ears. This would be a dog with hang down ears. If your dog had ears that stick up, then you could do a triangle shape, kind of like the cat example. So I'm cutting out my oval shape, but remember a dog has 2 ears. So with that oval shape, I'm going to put it on my piece of paper and I'm going to trace it to make my second ear. Now that I've cut out the second ear, I have just enough paper left for a tail. You might not have as much paper as me, or you might have more. You may need another piece of paper, and that's totally fine. I just happen to have the perfect shape here. Now that all my pieces are cut out, I'm ready to add glue. So when you're gluing, make sure to add enough glue so that your paper sticks and that you press down on it so that you allow the pieces to stay together. When you're gluing the dog's ears, you could have one ear going up or you could have both ears down. Totally up to you. Now that my dog is all put together, I'm going to draw the face. So you can start with 2 circles or ovals for the eyes, and then an upside down triangle for the nose, and 2 smile lines that come out to the sides. Then I'm drawing some dots for whiskers. Dogs have small whiskers too, not as long as cats. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw a collar, so 2 curved lines, and I'm going to make a name tag. I'm naming this after my dog Teddy. When you're done drawing in pencil, you can go ahead and outline with a black marker. I'm going to go ahead and color in Teddy. Teddy is mostly white with some gold and tan patches of fur. Remember, your animal is 3D because it has more than one side. So you can turn it over and color the other side in too. And that way when it stands up, you will see color on both sides. All right, I hope you had fun creating your 3D paper animal. Remember, 3D means that it has more than one side. I can't wait to see which animal you create.